Reposition, pop filter. And there we go. Okay. Okay, bonk. Okay, well, I guess let's get this started, shall we? Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Aniki Streams, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All, Part 8 for November 10th, 2016. I am your host, Aniki, and I was very uncertain if I would actually be streaming this, much less this game tonight, after the fun of Tuesday. I won't really get into it now, mostly because it just pisses me off and I don't want to worry about that. So, now that I've had some time to unwind a little bit, I'm better. Not happy. But that's beside the point. Hello, Bob Zombie. Welcome once again. Welcome to the Phoenix Wright. Hopefully this will be our last part of this chapter, and then after that we'll have the final one, which I believe is a pretty lengthy chapter, about as long. Actually, I think it's longer than the final one of the first Phoenix Wright game. So let's see. So what happened in our last stream? Well, we poked around the circus some more and found out there was an accident about 6 months back with one kid who kind of had the hots for the little girl. And so I guess somehow they had an accident where the kid got bit on the head and put into a coma, and his brother Acro, he tried to, stop the lion and ended up in a wheelchair because of it. And apparently he saw Maximilian Galactica flying up from his room, but it's very odd things surrounding him. I believe oh yeah, that was the other thing. There was a note that was placed in Regina's pocket that could only have been from Acro. So there's some weirdness going on there. So let us continue with the trial and see where it takes us, shall we? December 30th, 9:41 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. Good morning, Max. Oh, yeah, good morning, sweeties. You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today. I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up for it. Yeah, that's it. Hee hee. Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. Regina. How fabulous! My sweetie pie, sweetie pie princess. You came to watch my performance today. Of course I did. Mo told me that I should come and watch this. Mo said that. So, what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end. It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties? Huh? I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't, yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on, or even where she is. Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today I'm just a member of the audience. Fabulous. Enjoy yourself out there. Good luck, Max. You're the best. Hello, cat snake. Head bong, someone on this. No, someone loves this. Yeah, okay, there we go. Yes, you're a good kitty. You're a good kitty. And I love you. This cat has been loving the crap out of me. I don't know if you can see it. Let me make sure I can see it. Yeah, you can't really see it, but earlier he decided to lick my hand, like right here. And it's fine for a little bit, but then he kept it up. Yeah, it's, and yep, Red Rock's here. Hello, welcome. Sorry you had to clean cat poo. But anyway. But yeah, my cat likes to lick my hand when he's, comfy or feeling good. It's like his little grooming ritual or something. Just like how he's rubbing me right now and giving me head bongs, kneading into my shoulder. Okay, yes. Gotta continue the stream, buddy. Okay. Regina's different, don't you think, Nick? Top of the morning to ya! Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How low can you go? Mo. Top of the morning to you, Governor. Top of the morning. That's a ticket. Attacking the day starts with energy in the morning. The early bird gets the worm, but then again, worms lack higher brain function. Okay. Yeah. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk. Oh my, thank you. So how are you today, Wright? Well, I've got the feeling that today I'm going to face off against the real criminal. You mean Acro? Huh? You think he did it? Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line. Literally. He's got guts to spare. Okay, and my awesome joke got ruined by cat butt. Okay, come on. Yeah, there we go. Get all sorts of comfy from subscriptions. All today I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is. I'm used to it already. Just means that I won't be able to press him like I can the other witnesses. What are you gonna do then, Nick? I guess today we'll just have to do with our usual psychological warfare. Sweet silly kitty. Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get past Acro and to the truth. You're right, but it's gonna be tough. Anyway, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father. Yeah, don't eat that. Don't eat that. Okay, there we go. You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes, that's why I brought her here to court today. Hey, Ozzy. How's it going, Cuddle Buns? Yes, Snooter the Amazing Thing. Because it's a thing. Pop filters don't work if you talk on the other side. Okay, and there goes Jack, because here comes the Aussie. Yep. I'm just getting all the pussy tonight. Can I help you? Okay. What's that supposed to mean? I apologize for the black kitty butt. He is cute. He's got a butthole. And it's right in my face. There we go. Okay. There you go, kitty. Okay. She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars. Tired but happy. Oh, starting my commission today. Well, this one Have badly drawn boobs. Yeah. December 30th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Yum, 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 yum. The court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Miss Von Kama, you may proceed with your case. Prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events. What's the meaning of this? We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new eyewitness. I think he's talking about me drawing boobs red on your stream that time. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. Order! Order! I had a feeling something like this would come up. Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detectives stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Oh, poor Gumshoe. No, I don't think that's the case, sweetie. Very well. Please stand. Please call your witness to the stand. Time to get to work, or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. Dude's got a tall wheelchair. Name and occupation. Ken Dingaling, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Very Big Circus. Where were you the night of the crime? I was in my room that night. And of course, there he goes. Yeah, remember, I used all my boob puns. If you look at this map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. Sorry, something about the way I said okay in that deadpan voice. Okay. It was just after 10 p.m., and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Then a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. This witness's testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown. If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution need add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. Wow, okay. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did. Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well, you may proceed with your cross-examination. What you witnessed. It's just after 10 p.m. I was resting in bed, okay. By the time I heard Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Yes. And you said that you were resting in bed? That is correct. But you were still able to hear a sound from outside? I was indeed. Pressing accurate doesn't seem to get results. Maybe something was contradictory with what he said just now? Nah, I don't think so. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. Till I can find a clear contradiction, I should tread lightly. ... And a few moments later, I saw someone flying right there. Are you sure it was a human being? It could have been a mannequin, or perhaps a large action figure. Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is plausible. You have no need to mince words with Mr. Phoenix Wright. Testify the truth, and only the truth, just as if we were there with you that night. I believe it was a human. Damn. I just strengthened his testimony. Nerve hacker's statement jives with the facts. Not yet, no. What's the matter, Miss Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. Until I can find a clear contradiction. Should tread lightly. ... That's... The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So, with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window? The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any of the other symbols? Whoa. I clearly saw the silk hat, as well as a cloak wrapped around his body. Those birds just bamped in, okay. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. More I press him, the less results I seem to get. But maybe there was something fishy with his lips. There's a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. There's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. I see. Yeah, I know. I see. She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of contradiction? Yep. You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult considering the state I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me. That's a shame because you would have noticed the silk hat found on the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max had his two silk hats? No, this is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand. Order. Like always. Oh, sorry about that. When was the last time you played Warcraft, Bob Zombie? Or World of Warcraft, rather. You gonna go? Yeah, go beat up your brother. Like always, someone has to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth, now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause the witness to commit perjury in this court today? 2 years ago. Well, it hasn't changed that much. I mean, if you said you last played it before Kata, that would make a little more sense, but see, that's the thing, right? Is that minimum range hasn't been in there in Kata, which was, what, 6 years ago? I mean, really, not a whole lot has changed about it. I mean, it's a lot smoother. I guess what's really changed is the models for the main races. Okay. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion? Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Russell Berry, Mr. Russell Berry. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to remember how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and minds. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book. Yeah, I've always found that, you know, the game takes a bit to get used to, especially if you bounce around classes like I do, or specs on top of that. Anyway, really? If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to be almost scary. That thing is poking him in the head. Okay. He is staying rather calm and collected. Mr. Dingaling, do you have any response to the defense's accusations? I don't really need to say a thing, do I? Oh, what do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. That's true. I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things. See, even a silver of even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous. Man, I was really hoping this is the first noticeable typo of this court case. I was genuinely hoping that it was just the first half that was bad. Okay. She's right. Way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Phoenix is a poopy head. See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well? I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice. What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? Oh? Now then, this must be when we hear her. This must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. What? You're not gonna sucker me into this one. What are you blabbing about, Mr. Wright? There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. Order! Order! What are you getting at? Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm gonna have to prove how it all fits together. Have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you really do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, then let's do it. Mr. Phoenix Wright, if this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right? Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingaling? He was obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room? Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. There's only one answer to that. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the Ringmaster. What? Are you nuts? What say you, Mr. Dingaling? Dot, dot, dot. It's an interesting theory. Dot, dot, dot. That's it? Considering that what you proposed is impossible, yes, that's it. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in the wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene or be the killer. You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. No, it wasn't. Mo said that he saw Max, didn't he? No. He said he saw a caping hat. But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did you do it? That's the next course of the legal buffet. Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here... She's right, I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the Ringmaster. And he killed the Ringmaster while he was in his room, no doubt about it. Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingaling committed the crime, Mr. Wright. There. I was very stunted. I'm going to present some evidence. So what did Mr. Dingaling use to commit the crime of the murder against Russell Berry? I have a feeling... No. Nope. Yeah, here we go. What's that? A picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust. It's quite a large bust, and because of its life size, it is also very, very heavy. Heavy? Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Ah! See, this is how Acro was able to kill the Ringmaster. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. Order. So you're saying that the bust fell onto the Ringmaster? Rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it'd be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. Well, Acro is an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bust. Mr. Dingaling, how do you respond to these charges? Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro, you can't run away from this one. I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself. Excuse me. Getting mods to work has been fun. Well, some of them require a little bit more work than others, like X-Pearl, or now it's called Z-Pearl. Or is it the other way around? Or that, or Bartender. Those are pretty fun to try and get set up according to how you want them. I have a couple mods myself, too. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I don't know how helpful they'd be. One of them is kind of a frame for crafting information, as well as when you like hover your mouse over an herb node, it'll tell you the skill range that you need to be able to get whether it's orange, yellow, green, or gray versus your skill level, if that makes any sense, and a bunch of other stuff. Red can probably explain it better than I can. Excuse me. Anyway. Testimony, you say? Von Karma? She's just using this testimony as a ruse to stall for time. There's absolutely no need for such testimony. The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond. Dot. The defense's objection is overruled. Can you see things my way once in a while? Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. Yeah, I've just been taking it slow over. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony. The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. Alright, that woman will sink to any low to win a case. Acro's physical state. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have strong upper body work from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to know the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? Okay. Yep, there you go. I have no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony. It was impossible for him to lift the bust and carry it over to the window. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright? I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. Can't let her get to me. I've got to focus. Crow's physical state. Suppose I could have lifted something says the bust. I have strong legs are injured. Lifting the bust. Excuse me. And why is that? Because if I were to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself. I still haven't got much feeling in my back in my legs yet. So you couldn't have thrown that bust out of the window. Okay. So, Acro, you didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I might add. Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting. Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this. The key here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over? The same. Question is, who placed the wooden box here? Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bus came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean, if the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there'd be no way that it could have missed the head of the victim. Really? Order! This is unbelievable! Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going, and there's only one way to go from here, forward. So, the next question I have is, who placed the wooden box at the scene? It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow! Allow me to whip some sense into you. Mr. Phoenix, Wright. Ow, 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 ow! The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. The weight of the box? The box has a remarkable weight. Weight? According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift up this wooden box would have required... Oh, I see. One would have to squat down then to lift it. One would have to squat down, then lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say? Really? I have some 15-pound weights that I don't gotta squat over to pick up. Anyway. That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. And the box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That is correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means, and no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Fool! That was interesting. Does she even bother to listen to me anymore? She? I've heard what you've had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you drop it? Did you drop the bust onto the ringmaster? What are you talking about? Even if I had wanted to do something, or do such a thing, I couldn't. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of this bust? Yeah. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table at the cafeteria. Then what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. That means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room? I have a feeling I know how. You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bust from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. But this is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happen once and for all. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bust from the cafeteria back to his room? What about... a monkey? A monkey? Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size. For instance, he stole the ventriloquist ring. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own and then brought it back home. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room? But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Maybe you should put that whip down sometime and read the court record. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Yeah. Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bus back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Order! Order! I said order, Miss Von Karma! Where is the bust in question at this moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is a strange turn of events. If that monkey did not steal the bust, then what happened to this case? Well, in that event, something else must have been used as the murder weapon. Well, maybe this bust was the murder weapon, but it was used by accident? That's possible. Maybe Acker saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Hacker was the murderer. Moron! Think I'll have 4 days off after Friday, so I got my WoW-approved adult diapers and a case of Red Bull for... That's some poop socking. Yeah, poop socking is where you are so engrossed in a thing that you poop into a sock so you don't have to get up and leave your game. Essentially. Anyway. Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. If it held water, it wouldn't be circular. There's no denying that. Ow! Don't be so bamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And what is that? Yeah. You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magician or magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. There's no reason to doubt this clown's testimony. That's true. How do you respond to that? Nick, don't let her beat you now. I won. This is my chance to turn this around. When the murder occurred, there were 2 people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this, and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Clown saw the murderer. Who was it then? Nope. Saw the bust. Excuse me. He saw Max. Ow! I asked who was the other person Mo saw in the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question. I already did that. Au contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. How is that possible? It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at this case at all? The silhouette he saw just happened to be wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. Or a cloak like that could easily get snagged on the bust if they came into contact. Idiot! Who in the right mind would put a cloak on a bust? Doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Just wait a moment now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance to this case. Don't you agree? Don't. You got me. So, let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? Well, the victim, if he got clonked on the head with it, maybe. Fool! Him? You're saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying. I mean, the victim himself placed the cloak on the bust? Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself. Nick, do you really have a handle on all of this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright. So, you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Akira used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached the rope to the bust, and dangled the bust out of the bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Yes, have fun farming leather. That's not good. Oh, and it's even more pain in the ass if someone else attacks the same mob that you attack, because if two people attack or a mob, they both get flagged for it. And if the other person doesn't get the loot, you can't skin it. It's something that a lot of skinners are pissed off about. But anyway, perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trillo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Akira took his chance and released the rope. Now, this is when the magic happens. At the very instant that the bus hit the victim... Hey. You wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, that just can't... This just isn't true. It can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. Circus isn't over yet. Eh? With the shock of the impact, it threw up the cloak. Excuse me. It threw up the cloak and it got snagged onto the bust. That's when the sound was heard by the witness, and he took a look out of his window. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Moe Curls, the clown. When Moe looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Akira naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Moe saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because, in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out of his window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. And that is how the magical murder disappeared into the sky came to be. Now you know how the murder actually took place. And now you know who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the scene. Akira, it could only have been you. ... Akira's been playing mind games with all of us. He sure has, but he has come to the end of his rope now. So, what now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? In this court, only two things matter: the power of evidence and the power of my whip. Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Heck, they say they want evidence. I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. But there's still something unusual about Moe's eyewitness account. Unusual? Contradiction, actually. Okay then, use that and get out of this jam. That's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claim. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. Okay. Nope. Problem is Max's 3 symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceeding. Yesterday, there were 2 contradictions in Mo's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions. You fool! Do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bust. Makes sense if you look at it that way. And he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of. Objection! Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction? The other contradiction? Remember what that ventriloquist said in court. He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. Clown said that there was no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick? Of course, I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the instance when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? Ah, they disappeared into the snow. Or they got curled in. Did you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would have ended up on the back of the bust. Which explains why Mo didn't see it. White roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Order! Order! This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick, and maybe Von Karm will finally throw in the towel. ... Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. This witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. ... Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this could kill the ringmaster. Ah, I know what it was. He wasn't trying to kill the ringmaster, he was trying to kill Regina. Nope, that's what it is. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster. Acro's motive, Seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. ... This court will now take a 10-minute recess. To be continued. Yes. December 30th, 2:17 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 5. I can't believe it! Acro! It's pretty shocking, isn't it? It definitely is, and I think he was the most straightforward of the group. Jeebus, unbelievable! Acro tried to pin the murder on you on purpose. I did. He's just a little twerp, isn't he? Well, that is one way to put it. Hey, pal. You're gonna ignore me after I went to all this trouble to bring you some evidence? Detective Gumshoe. Forget it. I'm going home. This guy deserved to be guilty anyways. Now, Detective, I'm sorry. Now, why don't you relax a little? You've got some really tasty milk. How about a card trick, Detective? Well, if you insist. What? Did you try sending me a photo, Red Rock? Via Skype? Because it didn't come through. Anyway. Now about the evidence you mentioned. What is it? Here you go. Huh? This was yesterday in Acro's room. Result of our investigation. You can look at it later. Won't Von Karma be mad that you're doing this? ... That's why this is all a secret. Huh? Look, details are on a need-to-know basis, and we're not really allies or anything. But everything that's happened in court up until now has gone according to our plan. Von Karma looked like she was in a pretty big hurry, though. You'll figure it out eventually, pal. Yesterday, our final plans were put into place. Final plans? That reminds me, I've got a message from the prosecutor for you. Judgment comes at the very last instance. That's it, and that's it for me too, pal. I'm going home. What did he mean by that, the very last instant part? Everything he said seemed pretty cryptic to me. Oh, one more thing. Don't scare me like that! Looks like there's a large care package from the circus for the defendant. Yeah? For me? It's milk. The reception area looks like some kind of dairy. So hurry up and drink it before it spoils. An entire dairy's worth of milk? For me? December 30th, 2:27 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. This court is now in session. Shall we continue with our proceedings? Miss Von Karma, please continue from where you left off. I'd like to continue with Acro's testimony, starting with his relationship to the victim. I'd also like to get proof from the defense. Proof of what kind of motive Acro would have had to commit this crime. What motive does Maximilian Galactica have to commit this crime? That's the thing that really pisses me off, and I think I mentioned this before. Especially in this game, they're bringing up motive, you know, motive. They never once actually have, you know, a motive, Okay, those are definitely some under boobs and top boobs. Okay, then. There we go. Okay. Understood. Mr. Dingaling. Yes, Your Honor? Please proceed with the testimony. Finally, we're getting to the motive. Wait, Nick, are you okay? Just do me a favor and don't ask questions you don't want answers to. Oh. About the ringmaster. When we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. That's when the ringmaster of Berry Big Circus, Russellberry, took us in. I became an acrobat at around 9 years old. I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was my sole purpose in life. You're such a thoughtful young man. As you heard, the witness deeply respected the victim. I wonder how anyone could think that Acro could kill the man he held in such high esteem. You are absolutely right. How could anyone think that, Mr. Wright? Which is why there's no real need for a cross-examination, is there? Actually, that's the question I'm trying to answer myself. Why would Acro kill the ringmaster? This might be my last chance to answer that question. So, of course, I'll be examining. Defense has the right to cross-examine the witness. You're so tactless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You don't care about justice, do you? You just want to fabricate a motive. Very well, Mr. Wright. Cross-examine the witness. About the ringmaster. Real little, you're bad. Parents, swim the ringmaster, very big circus, took his in, became an acrobat at 9 years old. I wanted to find a way to repay. It's my sole purpose in life. What do you think, Nick? I don't know. I think the more I cross-examine him, the worse I end up looking in the end. You mean? I get the feeling that this cross-examination was a trap. Yeah, Von Karma set you up again. Well, I guess I'll just press everything. We? Yes, my brother Sean and I. What? You have a brother? How old were you when this happened, Acro? I was 8 years old, and my brother was 4. Your parents were very cruel, weren't they? Nowadays, we aren't bitter about what happened to us, because it allowed us to meet the wonderful people at the Very Big Circus. Nick, the judge is getting misty-eyed. He's got a soft spot for soft story. He's got a soft spot for sob stories, it looks like. Oh, there's no crying in court. Let's keep going. The witness may proceed with his testimony. How would you describe your relationship with the ringmaster? He was like an uncle, a father, and a big brother all rolled up into one. Ringmaster and my brother were the only family I had. What about other people at the circus? This was over 15 years ago. Back then, there were very few customers coming in, so no one really had the time to look after us. They were worried about other things. But the ringmaster, he would always come see us with a laugh and a smile. What a beautiful story. That's why I was always thinking of what I could do to help. I wanted to thank him. Nick, isn't Acro such a wonderful person? I know, he seems like a nice guy, which is what makes this so difficult. So then, how long have you been a performer? Okay, became an acrobat around 9 years old. You started off as an acrobat at that early of an age? I begged the ringmaster until he finally agreed to let me do it. Ever since then, I've been in incredible physical shape. That's also when I decided to form a group with my brother. We called ourselves the Flying Dingleberries. Flying Dinglingberries. It's nearly a household name. I've even heard of them in Germany. Liar. The point is that I wanted to be of some use to the circus. You are truly a remarkable young man. Just keeps looking at Acro almost like a proud father. Did you ever have any trouble with Ringmaster? How could you ask such a thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Do you have some sort of fundamental misunderstanding of this witness's testimony? Or the heartfelt emotions contained within? You better think about this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You better think hard. No matter how you look at it, there's no way I could see the witness ever taking the victim's life. Exactly. I've been waiting for you to say that, Your Honor. Nick, I hate to say it, but I agree with them. I was trying to chase down the truth, but I ended up just looking like a jerk. I think that would be enough for now. Pondering whether or not this witness would kill the ringmaster leads me to believe that it is pretty much unlikely. Exactly right, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, I'd like to ask you a question. Go ahead, Your Honor. What was Acro's motive for killing the ringmaster? How about it? Can you explain that to me? Nick? Yeah, I didn't even have to think about it. It was obvious from the start. Your Honor, the reason that Acro killed the Ringmaster is something that can't be proven. What? That's because Acro had no reason to kill the Ringmaster at all. Your foolish attempts to fool us like foolish fools is so foolhardily foolish. Did you forget you made an accusation against this witness, did you not? I believe it was. This must be this is the real killer of Russell Berry, Ringmaster. If you want to jump to the end of things, then yes, that sounds about right. The end of things? Acro. You didn't plan to kill Ringmaster at all, did you? The Ringmaster wasn't your target that night. What did you say? I'm saying that the target of the witness's murder plot was not the Ringmaster. He did not plan to kill Russell Berry. What? Order! Bailiff, I don't care who it is. Smack anyone who's loud in the face. Twice if you must. Mr. Wright, what in the world are you trying to do in my court? Ow. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what in the world are you trying to do in his court? Are you attempting to imply that Acro was trying to kill someone else? Yes. Regina Berry? This young girl is the Ringmaster's daughter, correct? Acro, you were really aiming for her that night, weren't you? You don't need to answer that. It's a mean-spirited leading question. He could easily answer this question. If I'm wrong, all he has to do is say, you're wrong. That's it. That's it, huh, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Enough. Mr. Wright, allow me to... Ow! The only thing allowed to interrupt me is death itself. Huh? And that goes for you too, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Show me evidence, now. I want to know why Acro would want to kill Regina Berry. Yes, me too. I demand to see some proof. Present evidence that proves Acro was out to kill this young girl. Well, that's pretty easy, actually. Acro, do you have any recollection of seeing this? It's a piece of paper that we found inside the Ringmaster's tailcoat. Inside the victim's tailcoat? Acro wrote this note. It's ironically entitled, To the Murderer. Its purpose was to call someone to the plaza at 10 p.m. So you're saying that he called Russell Berry with that note? There's just one little problem. Acro did indeed place this note into someone's pocket. However, that someone was not the Ringmaster. You mean it wasn't for the... That's exactly what I mean. The person this note was intended for was none other than Regina Berry. Order, Mr. Wright. This little theory of yours. It's the truth, Your Honor. It isn't a theory. Simply put, Regina didn't think the note was meant for her. Which is why, the morning of the crime, she placed it on the cafeteria bulletin board. That's when her father, the Ringmaster, read the note. That's correct. The Ringmaster ended up in the plaza instead of Regina. And he was killed because of that mistake, instead of Regina. That's incredible. Remember the testimony that Acker gave us earlier today. Lifting the bus and looking out the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. If I were to do that, I'd end up falling out of the window myself. Acro had no idea who it was that arrived in the plaza, because he couldn't look down out of his window to see who it actually was. I've got it! Acro thought it was Regina down in the plaza. And that's when he let the bust fly. Hey, Nick, isn't Regina listening to all this from the audience? She is, and unfortunately it's only going to get harsher from here. I hope Regina can handle it. Acro wrote this note to Regina.
Objection!
Foolishly foolish fool with foolishly foolish fool ideas of foolish tomfoolery. You're so foolish you've even made me sound like a foolhardy fool. Very well, Mr. Phoenix Wright. If you're so sure, then tell us about this line. I have conclusive evidence of what took place. That's a line in the note, all right. Well, then, if the note was sent to Regina Barry, it must mean that this note is declaring that Regina Barry is... This note is declaring that Regina Barry is a murderer. Just don't get it, do you? What? What did you say? The ringmaster knew what the note meant, which is why he went to the plaza, in place of his lovely daughter. Hold it right there, Mr. Wright. Can't get comfy today. What is this incident that is alluded to in the note? The incident 6 months ago. I know all about it. An incident occurred 6 months ago. Now I am more than ready to show this court what happened at that time. Moron. Wait, are you sure that it relates to this present case? It does indeed, Your Honor. Everything in this case has its start in what happened 6 months ago. Really, Nick? I think so. Well then, if that's the case, hurry up and tell us about it. What is this conclusive evidence mentioned in the note? I know I'd certainly like to know what it is. If I can't answer that question, the judge is going to think I'm bluffing. The conclusive evidence about this incident 6 months ago is actually... that. Achoo! 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 What kind of spicy joke is this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Isn't a joke at all. It's the decisive evidence you asked for. What do you mean? The victim would have arrived to try and take away the wooden box. That's when they discovered the decisive evidence found inside. Unbelievable. Another unbelievable conclusion. Very well, Mr. Wright. So what exactly are you saying? Are you claiming that Regina Barry killed someone with a small bottle of pepper? Taking the note into account, that's the only logical conclusion you can draw. A foolish fool who never tires of his own foolish ways. If you're so sure, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then answer this question. Who was Regina's intended victim? No. Sadly. Who is this? It is Acro's younger brother. What does this prove? His younger brother isn't dead? Technically, that's true. However, Bat has been in a coma for 6 months now. It's not a stretch to see how Acro could feel that his brother is dead. And Gina, she did that to him? Do you spend your entire life dreaming up new ways to be a fool? Naturally, the prosecution has looked into Acro's brother, Sean Dingaling. 6 months ago, he was hit by a lion, he was bit by a lion and fell into his current comatose state. A lion? Miss Regina Barry is an animal tamer by trade. However, no tamed animal in that position is ever trained to attack another human. They wouldn't understand the command. Moreover, Miss Regina could never do something like that. It's just not in her. So then, what happened to Acro's brother? He's not the victim of an attempted murder. He's the victim of an accident. I see. Now what do we do? No one seems to be going along with your theory. Do you think what happened to Bat was actually an accident? Yeah, it was... more than that. Lion biting Bat was no accident at all. What? You're such an amateur, Mr. Phoenix Wright. There is no way that Regina would ever incite her lion to attack another being. She may not have incited the lion to attack another human being, but Regina is responsible for making the lion bite Acro's brother, Bat. With the scarf. That's just a scarf. Acro, Dot, dot, dot. This scarf is something that Bat used to wear, correct? That's right. And who is the one that gave this scarf to Bat? Regina gave it to him. Regina? There is something more than just blood on this scarf, Your Honor. And what might that be? Pepper. Pepper? Pepper. Pepper? Pepper. Regina gave the scarf to Bat right before the accident, and she covered it with as much pepper as she could. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. Dot 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 dot. Hey, what's with the silent treatment? Damn bird. Excuse me, Mr. Wright. You've done a good job of fingering a criminal. Phrasing. But out of curiosity, what was her crime? Regina gave a pepper-covered scarf to Bet as a present. Where's the crime in that? Still seems like the judge just doesn't get it. Dot, dot, dot. Mr. Phoenix Wright, wasn't it said that the lion seemed to be smiling? Smiling? That lion was smiling. Right before Bet was bit by the lion. For a moment, the lion's mouth changed and it looked like he was smiling. Lions smile? Never heard of them smiling. However, lions sneeze. Leon didn't plan on biting Bat at all. In reality, all he actually did was sneeze. He sneezed because of all the pepper spread on the scarf. What? You fool! Dot, dot, dot. You've got to be kidding me. Objection! Dot, dot, dot. Oof. What's the matter, Miss Von Comma? I object for objection's sake. Mr. Phoenix, right? This theory, you believe it? You really plan to say this joke of an accident actually happened? Of course I do. It's the truth. Lion sneezed due to the pepper, and that's when Bat lost consciousness. Acro nearly lost his brother due to this accident, or this joke, as you put it. Which is why he tried to get his revenge against Regina. Oh. Hey, buddy. You foolish idiot. So it's a joke of an accident to you, huh? Once again, I'm impressed by your imagination, Mr. Wright. To think that there's someone who treats this accident with the respect it deserves. Are you telling me that what I said was true? Acro? You don't mean... You can't mean... Witness? Are you confirming the defense's claim? And there's Catbud for the third time tonight. Mr. Wright, unfortunately, your imagination is not enough to find me guilty of murder. What do you mean by that? The pepper, the scarf, the lion. The witch, the lion, the wardrobe. Whatever. Lion, the witch, the wardrobe. Yeah, okay. See where you're going, but it's a bit hard to swallow. Not to mention the fact that there's an even bigger problem with your theory. Well, what would that problem be? The same problem it's always been. Evidence. If I drop Max's bust on top of the ringmaster, where's the evidence that proves this claim? You mean the conclusive evidence? The biggest problem is the murder weapon, or the lack thereof to be more precise. Murder weapon. The bust that the defense claims was used. If that were to be found in Acro's room, and if it was covered with the victim's blood, that would be awfully conclusive in my eyes. Yes, it would be. The bust. Nick, you've got to do something. This is the last step. If I get it, this one right, I can't see the game because of kitty butt. Well, let's search Acro's room. Well, the defense requests to search the room of the witness Ken Dingaling. What is it now? It looks like you still haven't figured things out, have you? By now you must know the meaning of Von Karma Total Justice. You mean? Von Karma never leaves anything to chance. We already searched Acker's room yesterday. What did you find? There's no reason to even say it. If we found what you think we found in that room, Acker would not be here as a witness. But to put a point on it, Max's bust was not in the room. The murder weapon is still unaccounted for. You see, Mr. Wright, the bust wasn't in my room. Furthermore, Detective Dick Gumshoe executed the search by complete surprise, and we took Acker directly to the prosecutor's office after that. Okay, well, end of story. Just wait a second, something's funny about all this. It looks like the coup de grace in this case was ever so sweet. But, what about the scarf? What about the note? What about them, Mr. Wright? No offense, but the important evidence is here. Oh. It's right here, okay. It's about the death of the ringmaster. I think that you should remember that. Do something, Nick. Don't let this case slip away. The bust, where is it now? Where's the bust right now? You're Phoenix Wright. You know where the bust is. I'm sure you do. It's not even a single clue. How am I supposed to know where the bust is? Seems as if this case is coming to a close. The defense's counter-arguments look to have fallen short. Thank you for your support. 1 second. Oh god, I didn't think it was this far back. Shit. Okay. See how things work out first. Might be worthwhile to search Acker's room, but... Why aren't you going to search his room? Looks like you finally figured things out, didn't you? Now you know the true meaning of Von Karma Total Justice. What? I guess I figured with you that's the least I should expect. You'd leave no stone unturned. Von Karma never leaves anything to chance. We already searched Acker's room. Okay, so I ended up in the same spot. There's no reason to say it. Okay, well, okay, Ack. Now, if you'll please excuse me, Mr. Wright. I think that brings an end to an end the cross-examination of the witness. Hold it. Where is Max's bust? The defense needs time to prepare to present its lace. Present its lace? I mean case. Okay, I was about to get pissed off if that was another typo. Because that's a pretty bad one if that's the case. I mean case. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous and I just bit my tongue. Huh? What? We need time to do what? Are you the most surprised person here? She's your aide, isn't she? Do you really have a case to present, Mr. Wright? What? Is he talking to me? The rest is up to you, Nick. Good luck! Hey, wait. You can't be serious. Acrobats always have their lives on the line, don't they? That's how Acro's lived his life up until now. Now it's time for us to walk across our own tightrope. If we don't, we're certain to lose. Very well, the defense may proceed. He doesn't have a clue, and I don't think he'll be finding one anytime soon. Walking the tightrope of logic, there is no room for a false step. Sink or swim, the only way through this is forward. The murder weapon. Oh, where's Max's bust now? Somewhere in this courtroom. It's obvious, the bust is inside this very courtroom. It's obvious? Allow me to pinpoint the location of the bust once and for all. Witness's chair. Acro, I'm sorry to ask this, but do you mind if I take the blanket off your wheelchair? I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you, Mr. Wright. Well, you are a big guy, and you have a pretty big wheelchair because of it. I just wanted to make sure you weren't hiding anything under that blanket. Because it seems to me that it'd be really easy to say, hide a bust under there. Hello, Jack. Catbutt for the 4th time tonight. Once again, your penchant for humor hits me where it hurts, Mr. Wright. I think it's pretty amazing that you could laugh in your position. However, your lightheartedness doesn't change the fact that a bust is under there. We all know that you couldn't leave the lodging house by yourself in your condition. That proved inconvenient when Miss Von Karma happened to search your room yesterday. If she had found the murder weapon in your room, it would have been all over. Which is why you had to hide it. And the only place that you could hide it. Under your wheelchair. Which is why, Acro, I have to ask you again. Could you please remove the blanket from the wheelchair? Well done, Mr. Wright. Masterfully played. You fool! How could you... You've got me. I've been bagged by a real pro. Actually, 2 of them. 2 of them. Miss Franziska von Kamma and Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? There's just one thing I'd like to know. How did you know to launch the surprise search on my room last night? There were 2 pieces of decisive evidence, the cloak and the bust. I burned the cloak in my room and threw the ashes away with the trash. Regina always took my trash out every morning, you know. But the bust, obviously I couldn't throw that away. When you executed your search, all I could do was try and hide the bust. And the only place that I could hide it quickly was under this wheelchair. Miss Von Kamma, you had things all figured out, didn't you? I was completely sucked in by your calculated strategy. And now to be caught in the middle of court hiding the murder weapon. There's no way I can escape that. So you've got me. Well done, Mr. Wright. Well done, Miss Von Kamma. It all makes sense now. I can't believe that Von Karma thought that far ahead. It's amazing. You definitely couldn't tell by looking at her. I know I sure couldn't. I can't believe it. I failed. Why did I order a surprise search of your room? If only I hadn't done that. Doesn't matter now, though. It seems as if we've arrived at the truth. Acro. Yes, Your Honor. Did you kill the ringmaster of Berry Big Circus, Mr. Russell Berry? Yes, Your Honor. I'm responsible for that crime. Acro. Pretty greedy. All my brother did was want Regina to like him. That's why I'd tease her. One day, my brother sprinkled some pepper on Regina. She started sneezing so hard, you couldn't help yourself from laughing. That's why Regina thought it'd be funny to get him back in the same way. And that's why she covered his scarf in pepper. I know she didn't want anything bad to happen. I know this. She just wanted to make my brother sneeze a few times, too. But I just couldn't forgive her, no matter what. No, that's okay, man. Hope you're okay. What am I truly guilty of? I'm guilty of never, ever being able to understand her. Your brother became a star. Regina believed in that so purely that she would laugh innocently when saying it. Too innocently. I just couldn't stand it, no matter how hard I tried. Chinese food places downstairs, turn on their exhaust fans, and plume my apartment. Oh, that sucks, man. It's when you decided to do something about Regina. What do you mean by that? So you're saying that you are a victim in all of this as well? No, that's not what I mean. Oh? I'm nothing but a murderer. That's who I am. At first I thought I'd kill myself. Then I pondered giving myself up, but I couldn't just up and leave. I just couldn't. That's why I tried to pin this on Max. Max, I'm so sorry. I just couldn't up and leave yet. This has been such a strange case. It's almost a reflection of the circus itself. I'm an idiot! I can't believe it! You beat me again! Believe this case is now beyond any point of possible discussion. Thus, I'd like to declare my verdict. Not guilty! Woo! This court is adjourned. Blink, blink. Here in my jacket. December 30th, 4:27 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. Fabulous! But to be honest, I can't really be too happy about this. Acro, the ringmaster, Regina, and Bat. Not a single one of them was a bad person inside, huh? Well, I don't know. Acro tried to kill someone. He killed someone, but it wasn't who he wanted to kill. That's a good question, and one I don't know the answer to. Congratulations! Congratulations, Mr. Max! Thank you! What's with the vibe in this room? Sorry, my country snuck in there. We were just thinking about Acro. No. If you worry about people too much, then you'll be like this forever and never be happy. Huh? She's been like this for a while now. It's all my fault. Sweetie pie. Bat and Acro, they're never coming back. Now everyone's gonna split up. Regina, Mr. Wright, tell me something. What do you want to know, Regina? Acro said something right at the end. I just couldn't up and leave yet. Does that mean that Acro, is he gonna try and get revenge on me? He's not gonna do that to you, Regina. Are you sure? You really sure? I can believe that? Yep, Acro doesn't have any desire for revenge anymore. If that's true, I want to see some evidence. Huh? Acro said all the time to you, so I thought I'd work for me too. Oh, it probably means his brother. Acro didn't want to get caught for a reason. He wanted to see his brother open his eyes again. Bat. That's right, Regina. He's still alive, you know. He is, huh? But now that hacker has been caught... Uh-huh. I know. What? I'll do it. I'll stay next to Bat as long as it takes. Until he opens his eyes. And then until he can meet Acro again. That's so sweet of you, Regina. I'm sorry, Acro. I'm sorry, Bat. Well, hopefully this is enough to give her a little peace of mind. Hey, Max! What is it, Mo? We really put you through a lot, didn't we, buddy? I'm sorry about what happened. So whenever you'd like to leave us, I'll pay your fee and rip up the contract. I understand, such a fabulous thing to do for me. I might even leave tomorrow. What's going to happen to the circus now? That's the big question. Our ringmaster was really an amazing person, wasn't he? Even though he's not here anymore, everyone is sticking together. The staff, the performers, no one wants to leave the circus. That's why I've made a decision. What is it? I've decided that I will take over as the new ringmaster. I'll turn this circus into the best circus the world has ever seen. The best circus in the world has ever seen? Don't laugh! Amazing. Yay, I can't wait! And I guess that changes things. Huh? There's only one thing the best circus the world has ever seen needs. The world's best illusions. Which means the circus needs the best magician the world has ever seen. Max? Let's work together and make this circus super fabulous! What do you say, big guy? I don't know what to say. All I can say is thank you. Regina, you're gonna help them out too, aren't you? I don't know. Maybe the circus would be better off without... Better off without me. God damn this game. What are you talking about, Regina? What do you think that I brought you to court today? We've got to work together to make the Berry Big Circus bigger than it's ever been. Mo? Mo's right, sweetie pie. It can't be the Berry Big Circus without Regina Berry. Max? Nick? Seems like everything is going to turn out all right here. I can't wait to go see the best circus the world has ever seen. We'll serve you the most fabulous seats. It'll take us a while to get ready, but I'm gonna order special whoopee cushion seats. Really? Is he gonna keep it up? Oh, okay, I guess that's the end of this trial. Oh, what's this? I see. What's my case? Just like you thought, yesterday's search really paid off, sir. You had it all figured out yesterday, didn't you? It was just a theory. Becker really was the killer. I thought this was the only way it could be the end. Especially if he was the defense attorney. You mean Mr. Wright? Of course. Well, Detective, my plane is about to leave. Do me a favor and try not to be too harsh on Acro. Once I get back, I'll make a stop by the Chief Prosecutor's office. Yes, sir. I'll be waiting for you. Goodbye, Mr. Edgeworth. And it just occurred to me, this scene is like where the scene in the 5th game in the series, Ace Prosecutor, Miles Edgeworth. Okay, and so that is a very unsatisfying conclusion to this case, I think. Because it wasn't, I mean, yeah, it was a malicious intent. We wanted to, or Acro wanted to kill Regina, but because of a coincidence, Regina lived and her dad died, which I think is just, it's pretty bad, I'll admit. I mean, it's not like, everyone is a saint in this, but it's one of those things that it's almost hard to resent him for it, but at the same time, it's hard to, I don't know, root for him, Interesting trial. Well, the Next episode, which will begin on Sunday, we'll start our final case of this game. And it's going to be a very interesting one. I don't remember all of the details, but I remember, well, let's just say it's a very interesting case. So stick around, and we'll see you on Saturday, or excuse me, on Sunday at 7 p.m. As minus, what is it now? 5, 6 GMT? I can't remember. I think it's 5. I'll have to figure that out. Anyway, it is currently 8:47 my time, so you can figure it out from your own. And we shall see you then. Until then, thank you, Red Rock. Thank you, Bob Zombie, for hanging out. I appreciate it as always. And hopefully we'll see you again. Until next time, be well, do good work, and keep in touch. Later.